For all the listeners, welcome to Tech Leadership Club. Today we have Richard from Dexter, who is also building a builder based out in India that we are trying to focus. Richard, myself, Arun Kumar Krishna, I'm the founder of AS13.ai. We are also building a SaaS, primarily driven out of services revenue, investing into R&D and coming up with solutions to the problems what we see in the industry, right? That's what we do. Over to you, Richard.
Yeah, thank you, Arun, for having me here. I'm Richard Samuel. The roots are from Rajasthan, but yeah, working in Delhi NCR for the last 15 years. Me, along with my other two colleagues, come friends, we founded Dexkor, which is basically an AI native B2B customer experience suite, which actually unifies your entire customer touchpoints. So, be it customer onboarding, customer support, customer success. So, we are just integrating everything into one platform so that the employees can have a better visibility of their customer journey. They are able to handle customer queries promptly, and customer will also have a consistent experience throughout their touch points with the organization.
Understood.
Yeah.
See, one of the things that I always feel curious because based on my experience, I saw a couple of problems that we are trying to build a SaaS application or SaaS
Hmm.
C kind of application to solve it. But what inspired you to start Dexkor, especially in the CRM space? I think it's
Yeah.
already a crowded space, in my opinion, right? There
Yes,
are too many
absolutely.
big players. Like, what was that movement that said, hey, there is a problem that you have to go after?
Yeah, absolutely right. So this is the most common thing I always hear from anyone I'm talking to. So definitely CRM, when you say CRM, it's like too crowded. When you
Yeah.
see customer support, definitely it's too crowded. There are many big players in the market. There are thousands of small players,
Yeah.
right? The reason why we started Dexkor, uh, I I actually come from a BPO background, right? So in
Understood.
BPO's customer service is like at the highest priority, right? Uh, like they spend months and 2 months just to train you to how to speak with a customer, right?
Yes.
Uh, which is ideally right in some sense because the way you handle your customer, right? This is how the business will operate, right? Uh, so in the last 12 years, I'm being working with a SaaS company. So I made my first move from BPO to a SaaS organization with a company called Unicommerce, which is an IPO listed company now. Uh, and there I joined them as a quality manager and then just moved towards the ladder. The one problem, and during this course of action, right, I myself has observed and was involved in implementing a lot of these so-called legacy players which are available in the market, be it Freshdesk, be it Zendesk, right? So I myself being the user of all these players which are available in the market. But one problem I consistently felt that these companies, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people will not agree to me, and it's like a controversial topic to discuss because these players have built such a big business. But there's a very fundamental problem. If they go back and study their business, they will find that they are getting a lot of churn from the SaaS industry.
Oh.
And the primary reason is because none of the SaaS industry is getting settled with one particular solution.
Hmm.
And the fundamental problem is if you just try to study them in deep, you will understand that they have not been built to cater the SaaS industry or the tech industry. If you check their marketing collaterals or marketing activities, and nowhere they mention that they are focused to SaaS. Right?
Hmm.
It's all generic product. Be it Zoho, it's a generic product. Any
Yeah.
any industry can be adopted. Like Freshdesk, Zendesk, Intercom, Capture, all of them are very generic. Right. So when I was working with Unicommerce and when I left Unicommerce and joined companies like Aftership, which is a US based company, then Shipsy, which again an Indian logistics, then Smartlead, which is an Australian company, right? This is the common problem I face, that none of these companies are able to settle with one solution because everyone is just experimenting. Okay, let's implement it, spend 6-7 months to implement a product, use it for 1 year, and so okay, let's look out for some other solution because this is not able to solve this particular problem or some segment of the problem. many times companies need to adapt these solution because they feel like, okay, there's no other player in the market, right? So with this particular problem, when I discuss with my other two co-founders, right, we find the same, like we are sailing in the same boat. We understand that these are problem, and and Nishat and Shashank, they have actually built some separate solution inside the company just to understand the data which has been provided by these players, right? So now you can understand every organization is running their small SaaS, micro SaaS inside the company just to study what they are
Yes.
using, right? So this is this whole reason we started with this, and so we are the first hand uh, customers who have actually experienced these problems, and that's the reason we started with this. So our idea is very simple. We do not want to make the things complicated. So Dexkor is built on two important aspects, right? We want to be very industry oriented and industry focused. So the industry which we are targeting right now is SaaS, e-commerce, logistics, digital martech, marketing technology companies, and the ITITs, right? Like your company, right? Because these
No.
companies involve a lot of project management, customer engagement, and
Yeah.
all those stuff, right? Right? That's the first one thing. Now, when we are building the product, we are also ensuring that the way we are designing, we want to make it more generic for that industry. So we understand that 60 to 70% we will be able to make it generic. But every company operates differently.
Yeah.
To Martech also operate differently, to SaaS operate differently. So the 30 to 40%, there's a place where we build the custom solutions. And why we want to build the custom solutions is because we want to make it as an enterprise product. There's a one thing, right? Second thing is most of the product failure or SaaS product failure happen because of the bad experience with the frontliners who are actually the users of the product,
Yeah.
right? And reason why? Because nobody likes the change, right? Right. So everyone wants to use their own processes and all. So those 30 to 40% is the game where we actually build their process, and that's what we tell to our customers that, okay, you take Dexkor, but we will build the way you want this product to function, the way you want to see that product. So that is actually helping us out. And we just launched our GTM 2.5, 3 months back, and we have already onboarded a couple of customers, including a public listed company also. Right.
Nice.
So that actually validate what we are building, and and that actually help in making the onboarding really quick for the customer also, because the adoption
Understood.
will automatically become easy, because for them nothing changed. There's no change in the reports, there's no change in the dashboard, there's no change in the matrix they are following, so it becomes very easy for them to adopt the product. Yeah.
Amazing. See, especially there is a lot to unpack here. One, I'll start from the beginning, right?
Hmm.
See, the career trajectory, starting from BPO and building a company, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, I see a lot of people are very specific. I want to just work for AI company. I want to work
Yeah.
on large language models only, or I
Hmm.
have to be only data scientist or cybersecurity guys.
Hmm.
What do you suggest, or out of your experience, because there is that uh, feeling, right, that if you join a BPO you might never enter into the deep tech or actual tech industry. Like how do you debate that point about, it's not no longer where you start, it's what you want to or desire to achieve.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's quite very straightforward. It's all about customer obsession, because I started my career after my engineering. I joined HCL. There I was doing customer service, right, technical support,
Yeah.
right, and then I joined a company called Ayogi, and I worked there for 4.5 years. One thing which I learned from BPO is customer obsession, right? And with
Yep.
Ayogi, I was into technical sales, right? So in technical sales also, the focus was always customer obsession, to ensure that how we can get a CSAT on a sales call. That's
Hmm.
really very difficult thing to do,
True.
right? So I would suggest that whosoever is working on building up a career, right, and that's what I also tell to the people who come to me as a to taking the mentorship and all, that first you need to understand that what exactly your passion is, right? If your passion is to code, right, go go and join a company which can give you that exposure,
Yeah.
right? If your passion is customer service, then stay in operations and bring that change, right? So it's very important to understand, like, it's very easy to just jump from one place to other place, right? There are a lot of things, like sometimes you will feel, oh, the AI is in the trend, why don't just just do some course in AI and just do it. Earlier it was like, okay, full stack is in trend, like why don't
Yeah.
I do a full stack course and get into it? But understand your skills, capabilities, right? And that is something only you can gauge yourself, right? And where you feel happy, because
True.
obsession, like, right, if you're not feeling happy, you will never become productive, doesn't matter which field you go, right?
Yes.
Right, so you need to stay happy from inside, and every day when you go home you should feel like, okay, I did something today, right? If
Mm.
that feeling is not coming with the work, that definitely it's not the right domain for you, so you need to plan to switch. So I would say, follow your passion, and with that passion try to see what aligns best, and that's what I did for myself also. So I was into technical sales, but my passion was customer obsession, customer service, customer csat. So you won't believe, like, in my career of almost like 4.5 years with Ayugi, right? It used to be a number one tech support company in India in around 2010 and all, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so you if you search about it, you will find it, but it got shut down for some reason. But yeah, so one thing that stays always with me is, like, in spite of having into sales, I always getting a CSAT. My CSAT was always high. I'm not getting refunds. I'm not getting chargebacks from the customer. My sales were very genuine, and that lead me to get into the quality management, because I believe in the quality work. So then I introduced the quality, and this is how I switched my career to SaaS e-commerce a platform, where I joined as a quality manager. Slowly and gradually, there I changed my trajectory, and I got into the operations. And eventually, when I left them, I was heading their SMB function of the business, and taking care of certain amount of revenue also. So
Understood. See, I see that passion, right? Wherever you went, you followed that customer success path,
yes,
like having that, what drives you. I think that's what I think you live, breathe, and sleep by,
yeah,
right?
right,
So, how did you find the exact co-founders to support your passion? Because that is one of the difficult things to
yeah,
do. Even I'm struggling, right? Because I'm just a new founder with 4 or 5 months old company. It's very difficult to motivate someone to see your vision and work towards that with a passion that they have. Like, how
hmm,
did you get these co-founders who supported or believed in your vision and
hmm.
supporting you with building this company?
Right. So for me, my both the two co-founders, right? We know each other for almost like 12 years now.
Huh,
We worked with Unicommerce in the same team,
nice.
and then we worked in a different teams also, right? So we, so first thing which I, so when I made up my mind, okay, this is the product I want to build, right? And I started looking out for the co-founder, because it makes your life very easy when you have a co-founder. You have someone to discuss and all, right? Because that person will be able to understand what you're going through, right? uh, so one thing which I checked is like the compatibility, whether I am very comfortable discussing any kind of situation to them. That's the one thing. Second thing is like, can we have a hard discussion with them? Will it take it should not take a egoistic path anyways, because
Yeah.
if you, right, because if you are having a hard discussion, so sometimes you do not like the way other person is working, or sometimes they are not liking the way you are working, right? So the discussion has to be like, whatever the heated argument it can lead to, but after the day end, if the discussion close, everything is back to normal. So that is the two things I noticed. And then the third thing is like the passion. So I was looking out for the similar kind of passion. uh, and we are the first time entrepreneurs, right? So we have not built any business in the past. We worked in the companies where we helped the companies in building up the business, but not as standalone. So the third thing I looked out for the like similar passion, right? Are they also finding and able to give 100 200% of what, and are they able to commit with a full-time commitment and all? So I guess compatibility is the major thing, because rest of the things will automatically fall in place. Doesn't matter. I understand, like, you need a technical co-founder, you need someone from sales, things will get sorted out eventually when you have a strong team, right? So that's what I looked out in both of them. And I guess I first onboarded Shashank, and then me and Shashank discussed with Nishat, and he also got onboarded. We did a couple of calls, uh, sit together. We did brainstorming on this. I shared my ideas. We three discussed, and we felt like, okay, this is the common ground we are all looking at, and we feel like that's a good idea. So yeah, so once we all aligned, then we decided, okay, let's go about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I've seen. The people who work part of the same time or started the journey together within the same
Yeah.
company, they tend to have similar mindset in thinking, the chemistry in terms of understanding each other's with limited
Yeah.
words, right? It's very high
Yeah.
with those kind of pairs that I've seen, especially co-founders coming out of same companies or same team. They understand each other, with limited number of words to explain a difficult topics.
Yeah.
And most of them are vulnerable to each other. They are not scared to
Yeah.
say, if I say this, will I look weak? Will I look,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
does it embarrass me in front of them? They are very vulnerable to each other, and that is
Yeah.
something I've seen with a lot of successful founders where they are saying, "Hey, it's okay, I don't know, teach me," sort of scenarios
Yeah. That's
where
true. Right.
they both take it competitively and work to solve the problems rather than create a problem. They tend to look for solutions to the problems. I think you guys have an amazing team. um, all the best for whatever you guys are building. Happy to be a
Thank
customer,
you.
but the timing was a bit odd, but probably next year that is something that I look forward to,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
see, when you first explained me about Dexkor a couple of weeks back when we just connected, right? I went
Hmm.
through and understood it is modernizing what they call, chaos to clarity from business managing customer operations, right?
Yeah.
How do, how does, as you said, one of a public listing company also has been onboarded. How does this transformation look from inside the company or from when you are doing, let's say, before Dexcore and after Dexcore? How does it look?
Yeah. So, uh, in terms of transformation, so we believe in the feedback which is coming from the ground directly, right? So the people who are actually using it, right? So usually how exactly the process for us is like, we do a POC first, right? During that POC we try to set up the things, then we get one or two folks start using the platform, and then we launch it to the entire company, right? Right. And the transformation, the feedback which we're getting is like really very positive, because we have seen the customers who are using our platform. So they have opted for one particular module, and then they plan to upgrade to the other modules also, right? So someone has just took our customer support module first, and then they opt for the customer onboarding also, right? The only reason is one, because ground team feels that their life is becoming easy, because they are able to track whatever they want to track, and we are very open for the feedbacks, right? So whatever feedbacks we are getting from the ground, right, uh, we are incorporating all those feedbacks for the team, so that is actually helping the team to make their life easy and removing the redundancy of the work which they are involved in. So overall feedback is important for us. So we are not just focusing on the stakeholders feedback, we are more focused on getting the ground reality. And the only primary reason for this is like, because for we feel like that for every organization, the only reason for the product to go out is the bad feedback from the ground, right? So for us, that is the most critical piece, and that's where we are focusing. And we are not just focusing on the feedback, we are also, when we are designing the product, right, we are not designing the product from the stakeholders point of view. So
Yeah.
when we need to design the UI of the product, right, we are looking at, okay, for going this particular place, if the folk has to click 3 times, can we reduce it to 1 time?
Yeah.
Right. So we are just thinking from these small perspective. Okay, if we are placing this button at the right hand side, can we place it at the bottom? Right? Will it make their life easy, because they might be typing there and simply click from there. So such kind of things which we are thinking of, that might not be a very big thing or feature, but when the people use it, that actually makes their life easier. And how come we are getting these feedback? Because we ourselves, all three of us, into operations for so many years now, right? And our leadership style is always like a servant leadership, right? We all work very closely with the team, so we know a lot of feedbacks already from the team about the different softwares, so we do not want to repeat the same mistakes,
Yeah.
right? So we place things very cautiously, where it needs to be done, what could be the experience, and we always prioritize user experience then the feature can be delayed for a week or two, but user experience should not be delayed for even a single day also, right? So that
Yeah.
is the core, and this is how when we so for example, the companies where our solutions are currently live right now, uh, when we actually implemented it, uh, for the teams, it is not like a change for them, because as I said, like our process is built on the like implementing their own workflows. So the transformation has happened, but it not actually happened for the frontliners, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that actually helped in getting a positive feedback from them. Yeah.
Yeah, understood. 2 points to note here, right? First
Yeah.
one, I have been the victim of, implementing the top-down approach where executive thought this is the
Yeah.
fantastic playbook, we'll start
Yeah.
implementing this. Then the whole process changes on the ground level. As you said, change
Yes.
is difficult to adapt and it takes time for people to get used to, and especially on the ground level when they even a small operational change can trigger, what they call fatigue. Hey, why am I doing this?
True. True.
Kind of
True.
scenarios. And
And sorry to
yeah,
cut you short, like so I tell you, like, so when we develop our MVP, right? So we develop our MVP based on our knowledge, our observation, and when we actually did a POC with our first customer, like it's like a different story for us, right? So at that time we have realized, okay, that needs to be corrected right now, because that we are at this stage, we can correct it. But if we ignore it right now, then it will create a lot of problem in the future, and that
yeah,
actually helped us. Yeah. So
yeah,
build the way your customers are looking at it, that actually help. But definitely you need to manage your product roadmap also, because then the customer will be driving your roadmap. So
yes.
you need to be cautious about that also. So very thin line. Need
Yeah.
to make that balance. Yeah.
The other point that I was saying is, similar to, see, one, how do you manage customer feedback and your product roadmap? We'll come back to it later. Second one, in my previous podcast with another guest, I was saying, e- I think we are looking at the same problem. We are building a product to reduce the number of clicks, basically.
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, sometimes to generate a report, you have to make 10 clicks, right?
Hmm.
Same scenario, what we are trying to do is use NLP, just natural language. Ask
Yeah.
it for a report, it will get you. So there are zero
Yeah.
clicks. And it
Yeah.
kind of reduces the product, what these analysts or the ground level people are, mundane task of going to that tab, going to this
Yeah.
application, write queries and sort of stuff. That's what I think, that's an industry problem now. After chat gpt era, people have realized, I don't need so many buttons
True.
to click around, right?
That's true.
So I think there's a lot of products coming around the space. Trying,
Yeah.
I think Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella also said, right, it might be the end of SaaS as we know it,
Yeah.
because there won't be this heavy front end. Now people are just interacting with natural language to directly,
Hmm.
talk to databases rather than, front end applications and whole back
Yeah.
end logic stuff. So it
Right.
it will be an interesting journey for next couple of years at least to see
Yeah.
how it develops.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. So it's again a very debatable topic, like whether the SaaS will die or not.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, my view is like SaaS. You cannot remove SaaS. Like
yeah,
AI, agentic AI, and all, everything will come inside the SaaS. That will be the
yes,
future, right? Because SaaS will definitely be there. Mm, But yes, that agentic AI actually help the SaaS businesses to remove the repetitive task or the very low labor task, right?
yeah,
Right. So I feel that will happen. And with the agentic AI, definitely you can have such kind of thing, like where you can give a prompt and it will give you the answers and all, right?
Yeah.
So
One of the things, right, when we say, or when probably I'm speaking for Satya's words, right? So it's like if SaaS, what is in his words is the end of the SaaS, probably what he meant was the technical architecture of SaaS
yeah,
is going to change forever, right?
yes,
It's
right,
no longer the same. But SaaS as a business will still drive what the technology companies' revenues are. I think
yeah,
that's what he meant, but the architecture is already disrupted. Now,
yeah,
the
that's
follow-up I
true.
had was, right, you said about customer driving roadmap, your roadmap, and there is this lot of buzz around overall AI customer experience, right? As soon as ChatGPT came out, everybody said end of customer support. So, being on the
Yeah,
field,
yeah.
what's overrated and what's truly transformative using chatbots or LLMs?
Okay, so yeah, that's true. Like nowadays, people feel like ticketing system. Okay, we can create our own ticketing system. Okay, live chat, we can create our own live chat. We do not need customer support. It's all, I have a knowledge base. It will get the things done. But can you just check with all the big organizations, even LinkedIn, right? They
Yeah.
still have their customer support, right?
Yep.
Right. If like I'm just asking these people, like companies like LinkedIn, Google, right, Microsoft, they are not eliminating their customer support. There has to
Yep.
be some reason behind it, right? Right. I agree to that point with AI, right? The repetitive task or the very generic queries can be automated. So I tell you, the best use case of AI would be places where the answers are really very straightforward. For example, banking, right? BFSI. If you go to a bank website, what are the type of queries you will ask? There would be only 10, 12 types of queries. You will
Yes.
you will not ask anything else, right? And whenever you ask anything else, it will route you to the customer support,
Yeah.
right? Same goes with D2C companies, right? In D2C companies, again, there are fixed set of queries that you will gonna ask. But what in case with a core tech companies, you will not have a fixed set of queries, right?
Yeah.
There would be two types of queries. One is very generic queries, which AI bots can answer, right? How to do that, where to find this, all those stuff, right? But whenever there's a decision making, okay, uh, I am not able to perform this particular task, right? Till yesterday, I was able to do it. Now AI cannot answer it, right? AI do not know what kind of task customer is talking about, what kind of flow is that. You cannot train the AI at that level. Yes, definitely. It's a different story. Like if you train on a product itself and train on GitHub, able to understand all the codes, right? And tell or predict like, okay, that's the expected flow, not the expected flow. That's a different thing. But still, I feel for any companies, L1 queries or a generic queries or a general queries can be should be automated with AI, because no technical support people want to handle those queries. Even the
Yes.
technical support people also don't want to handle, right? So let's automate it. We and those support folks should be only there to handle the complex queries, which still AI is not able to solve it, right? And that's what all the big companies are doing. And yeah, everyone should do it, right? Building your own ticketing system, building your own live chat system will not gonna solve it. If that would be the case, companies like Freshdesk, Zoho, Desk, and all those companies have already shut down their business long way back, right? Because that is not possible, because when once you build something in house, right, you cannot improvise it, because that is not
True.
your forte, right? You will build it to solve particular use case. Now your customer support team keep on asking for the new feature, you will never be gonna build it because you have your own roadmap to build. And this is how you are impacting your customer experience, because customers are impacting at the day end, because support is not able to deliver the performance like they should be, right?
Yeah.
So that is the whole reason. So I always come up with this question, right? That okay, ticketing, we have our own ticketing system, we will build in house. It's great, you can build, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a scalable solution.
Yeah. I've seen quite a few, kind of improvised ticketing system in my experience. People using Jira for customer
Yes.
support, people using Zendesk or Freshdesk,
Yeah.
right? They all have usage in a way different. There is no standard process. One, second, everybody needs customization
Yes.
no matter the platform, right?
Yes.
Although these platforms have been doing business for decades now, but still they are not able to
Yes.
meet some of these customer requirements because each organization has its own way of doing things,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. And
So that
that is the whole reason all these companies have their enterprise plan.
enterprise.
Right. And
Yes,
that's where they are doing all the customization, right?
yes,
So
yes.
uh, you cannot
It's
build everything in house, right? You need to
yeah,
outsource.
yeah. Especially building in-house is out of the picture. I've seen in the past couple of years where companies said, "Hey, now we have AI. Let's give Copilot to everyone and let's start building." Right? That's what I remembered when you said GitHub, train and code it. People struggle a lot, especially with
Yeah.
Copilot. It makes changes. People don't read it in terms of what changes it is making, and it's totally out of context and people end up troubleshooting for days. By that time, they would have,
There,
fixed the issue.
there are a lot of stories
Yeah.
about it. Like yesterday only, like we three of us were sitting and we are just trying to do some calculation of SLAs, right? You won't believe, same prompt given to Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Claude, right? All of them have given the different answers. And 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 if we have given same prompt three times at three different time, we got again different answers. Right. So, and if the coders are just relying on ChatGPT and all these platforms, first they are this is impacting their skill, right? Like
Yeah.
you will never be able to code by yourself, right?
This
You
is
never
this is
know.
this is going to be a real problem because I was speaking
Yeah.
to one of my previous guests also about it. See, now everybody is like go to is their co-pilot or AI agents, right? To go to the problem. How are you going to hire these guys after 3 to 5 years of experience using this? Like, ho- i- does the interview mechanism evolve saying, hey, you have access to chat GPT, now solve this question or solve this problem, right? Because now people will lose that critical thinking
Yeah.
and looking at the problem first. The first thing that they do, take the problem and give it to chat GPT,
Ah,
right?
right. So,
So,
so if you talk to UI designers, right, UI developers, what they do, they just copy the Figma, put it to the GPTs, and ask them, okay, give me the code. Right.
yeah,
And suddenly on an interview call, if you ask them, okay, can you just remove this button from there and put it there,
yeah,
they will not be able to do it. And this is what we are doing in the interviews right now. We are
yeah.
asking them, share your screen, just remove one component from here to there. If you are able to do it, okay, we can proceed further. If you cannot, okay, bye.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously, this is going to create a serious talent issue
Yes.
down the line. Either
Right.
companies have to accept and move on, saying people need Chat GPT or the any agent to work with them, or
Mm.
else the skill gap is going to be big because people are not learning fundamentals of troubleshooting or fundamentals of
Yes.
fixing issues. They are
Yes.
relying on something to fix the or troubleshoot,
Yes. And
right?
the developer nowadays, they are not even able to remember what they have built in the past.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly.
So many times it happened that like you have developed something, you know the functionality, you
Yeah.
got an error. Now when someone asks, okay, can you just check? They say, okay, let me just check. You cannot just look at it and just identify, okay, what could be the problem.
Oh,
So
yeah, I have a personal story about it. One of my guys were, fixing a bug. They gave the code to Quen or something. That's another agent, right? It remodified the code. When we deployed, there is no health endpoint because it removed health endpoint as redundant.
yes,
So
right.
that was, like at least read what it is feeding, whether
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
solving your problem or not. Just people are
Yeah.
too blindly trusting these agents. Only time will tell whether it's for good or bad.
After a couple of years, like it will be very difficult for such kind of
Yeah.
developers. Yeah. Smart working people want to delay the things and all those stuff, then you can definitely keep a close watch on it. So my only advice is like give more freedom to the team, right? But keep your dip checks in place. so that nothing should slip out of your hand.